Hey folks, it's Jason, and some of you may have seen that the next version of Darktable is going to be getting some AI features. Well, these features are optional, and you can enable them in the preferences section. But many of you know that I don't like AI, I'm against AI, so what do I think about these new AI features in Darktable?
Well, the Darktable project did develop an official AI model integration policy. According to this policy, all AI models must be local and only operate either to assist with editing, such as automatic mask generation, or in a restorative sense, such as with denoising. The policy states, AI models may correct defects or limitations introduced by capture devices or aging media, provided they do not alter the scene content. This policy is fairly conservative compared to parasitic companies like Adobe, which fully support generative object removal and generative fill. Thus, I commend the developers of Darktable for not going overboard with AI.
That being said, I won't be using these AI tools or making any content about them, and here's why.
As a general principle, I am against any algorithm that modifies content in such a way that the outcome is not easily predictable or that is content aware on a somewhat medium to high level. Even at a micro level, AI noise reduction, one of the new features, is essentially generative and uses content from other photos to reconstruct what probably was there. This statistical interpolation still has the potential to create new elements of the photo in a way that traditional denoising cannot. One cannot be sure of what is regenerated, especially as models evolve. The minor improvements AI does bring, if you could call them that, come at a much higher energy expenditure as well than traditional tools, especially since using such models encourages more models to be developed. Of course, almost everything we do in modern society is in many ways a huge waste of energy that we can't afford to waste. But with machine learning, the costs are huge and the benefits are extremely small. Therefore, I think it's a line that should not be crossed.
So those are the main points, although I can't be as precise in video as I am in writing, so I have included a few links in the video description to articles that describe these arguments in further detail.
I don't believe technology is neutral, nor do I think human beings are rational and capable of deciding how to use tools properly once the power of those tools goes beyond a certain limit. At such a limit, we cannot help but use technology to make the world worse for our own short-term benefit, regardless of the initial and perhaps benign intentions of individuals. Like very destructive weapons, machine learning is one example of going past that limit and is a technology that is too powerful for human beings to control.
So the truth is, I'm pretty disappointed about the inclusion of AI tools in Darktable. I think using them to some extent does encourage the further use of machine learning and the further development of it. And I think it's better not to use these tools so you don't encourage the further proliferation of this sort of horrible disease in the world. I think machine learning is a disease. I think it's not a good thing. And I think we should try to avoid it and discourage its use as much as possible.